Studio owners, stick around. In this video, we are going to talk about how to get your members racing to every class, and so they're hungry for more. Hi everyone, I'm McKenna, I'm the creative manager, and Jonathan here is joining me. He's our member success consultant. All right, I want to start off with a pretty cool stat. Did you guys know that Millennials and Gen Z make up 80% of all gym goers in the United States? That is pretty crazy. But what's crazier is that 80% of those 80% actually really prefer social interaction. They say it's a must when going to a gym. So we're gonna talk about how to up that social interaction and get people to actually come to your classes. So Jonathan, I know most gym owners use some sort of a CRM or management software to track class attendance, but how can they use that data to leverage people coming to their classes?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is huge for several reasons. Studios actually look at their data on a consistent basis to see, what classes are most popular, who's not coming to class that's paying for it. Also, what are the seasonal dips too? So that'd probably be, looking at data more so on like a quarterly basis to understand what classes do the studios need to fill. From there, you can really understand a couple different things, right? One is going to be instructors, right? Everyone's going to have their favorite instructor. Most studios are going to have a couple instructors that really shine. And then number two is going to be like the time of day. Typically, I would say 5 to 7 p.m. is going to be the most popular time in most studios. And then early morning is going to be a very popular time as well.
Do you recommend that if there's a particular coach that's probably the favorite amongst the team, do you recommend putting them at that 5 to 7 slot where it's most popular, or should you, change up the coaches?
Yeah, absolutely. If you can, hopefully you have a good roster of coaches that you believe in across the board. But I would say, at your most popular times, that's the time that you really want to shine for your studio, because that's probably when you're also going to have trials coming in. And so you want to give them the best experience, of course, so you can get them enrolled in a membership after, 1 or 2 classes.
What about post-class member surveys? Do you have any experience with that and what that would look like for maybe someone who doesn't have CRM, or maybe if they do have CRM, but also adding that in addition?
So as far as post-class surveys go, I do have a lot of experience with that. It's super helpful. And you want to have software. So this is, again, back to the studio management tool, where you can send these out automatically on a monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly basis. I think bi-monthly is the sweet spot. That way, you're showing your members that you really do seek out their feedback. You want to know how they feel about, being a member at your studio, and where can you improve. And ultimately, over time, you should start to see some trends on where you can make improvements with your class experience, which can lead to more people showing up to your class.
At what point do studio owners look at their data and they say, okay, maybe the 10 a.m. class doesn't get any, doesn't get as, obviously it's not as a high traction class. What point do they say, okay, maybe we should take this off the schedule?
It's easier to put a class on the schedule than take a class off the schedule. Assuming you're taking a class off the schedule that probably has at least a few members in it, that can be a difficult decision. But I think ultimately you just have to look at your numbers and understand, what are you paying the instructor, and then what amount of revenue are you servicing during that class to see if it makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Obviously, they have to look and see what's going to make most sense financially for the business. Going back to that stat we mentioned before about Millennials and Gen Z owners really needing that social interaction and making up 80% of gym goers all across, how can a studio owner, make things more interesting or more engaging for their members who are in this Millennial Gen Z category?
Pre and post class is where you're really going to have that opportunity to socialize. You absolutely want to hire instructors and coaches that are very engaging throughout the class, and getting around to members and knowing members' names in each class. And, that's super helpful to creating that engaging and really social environment in your studio. Additionally, though, really, you're probably going to have to look at outside events if you really want to create that community and, give the Gen Zs and Millennials what they want. So I think that's where you're looking at organizing potentially, in some cases, it could be weekly events, right? It could be, Wednesday trivia night at the local brewery near the studio. So things like that are going to be super helpful. I think trying to package all the socialization that Gen Zs and Millennials want and need into your class can be challenging.
I think too, there's ways to, make, I know there's some studios that have DJs come out on Saturdays or during holiday season. So I've been to a Halloween themed class, even though that's not all the time. It was cool to know that they're up to date on those types of things.
And then the other thing is, talking about socializing, we can also talk about social media and getting people connected on social media with a lot of these events. So like when you do a theme day, for example, making sure that you're posting a lot on your Instagram or Facebook to get people engaged on social media too is going to be helpful to create that community.
Awesome. Well, next we'll talk, and we'll just briefly kind of go over this because we've actually have another video on this about fitness challenges that you and I actually did. So if you want to watch that video, just click here up above in that card. But can you briefly explain how maybe a fitness challenge can get more people involved?
Yeah, definitely. Fitness challenges are a great way to engage your current membership base. It's a way to change things up. We know that fitness studios can have a higher churn rate, right? Because you're essentially doing the same, you're almost doing, it's like the same experience over and over again, even if the workout changes. So having challenges such as if you have heart rate monitors at your studio, right? Who can burn the most calories, who can get the most BPMs throughout the month, super helpful to engage your current members and change things up quite a bit. Also, most classes in a month is a popular way to challenge your members and create a ton of engagement, fill your classes. Who can drop the highest amount of body fat, drop the highest amount of weight, right? Who can bring the most friends in a month? That's a ton of fun to open it up to guests for a whole month. Great way to create, great retention and then also acquire some new members.
Lastly, what are some things that maybe studio owners are missing out on when it comes to filling classes or engaging members?
I think really being intentional about it with your staff and making sure everyone's on the same page. We know that if classes are getting filled, then you're going to have great retention. You're going to have a longer and bigger lifetime value. Average lifetime value is going to be great. And ultimately that's a sign of a great business.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And for everyone at home, Loud Rumor is a marketing and consulting agency specifically for fitness studios. So hopefully you got some value out of this, but we also do a lot more. And if you want to work with us, just go ahead and click the link in the description below, and you can jump on the phone with someone like Jonathan and he'll take real good care of you. And you can learn more about, Loud Rumor. We'll learn more about you and we can get you all set up. Thank you again, Jonathan, for all this great information. If you guys like this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos just like this one.